Traveling can be expensive, especially if you have to fly. The thing is, flights don't have to be expensive. I have a few tips for you. First, there's a lot of websites. You have Momundo, you have Kayak, you have Skyscanner. You can use these, and if you use them correctly, you can find cheap flights. Let me tell you one of my stories. So I was using Skyscanner for this, and I had to go from Europe to the United States. I didn't really care where I left in Europe. I could leave from any country. After all, I was just traveling Europe by hitchhiking. And I didn't really care where I landed in America, because I could still hitchhike and go wherever I wanted. So I looked around. I used the whole country. I also didn't have to worry about the time. I could travel anytime within a 2-month period. So I kept looking. I searched for the United States and Germany, for France and the United States. I kept searching and searching and searching. And in the end, the cheapest flight I found was about 200 euros. It was about $150 at the time. $150 from France to the United States, it's not that much. It's pretty cheap. The thing is, I used the same tactic when I went from India to Armenia, when I went from the United States to China, and I was able to find tickets that are at least half of what everyone else was paying, sometimes less. Here's another really important tip. Whenever you're searching for a flight, don't just use the websites I said. They're really good for finding deals, but also check on the carrier. When I was in China, I got a flight to the Philippines. The website said it would take $100. $100 isn't so bad, but I checked the carrier's website. And I found a ticket for 1 RMB. 1 RMB, that's 7 pesos. That's about 16 cents. Sure, I had to pay taxes, but even with taxes, my cost was maybe $30, $40. That's really cheap. And it wasn't just me traveling, it was other people too. So in the end, 3 of us were able to get a flight, including with our baggage, for amazingly cheap. The tips I just gave you are the most practical tips you can use about traveling cheap. But there's one other trick. Now it's a hard one, but I've used it a few times. Certainly, you can make friends with the pilots, with the stewardess, and you know what? They can help you get buddy passes, and that really lowers the price. But there's even one other secret. Now I've only done this in Turkey, but it could be possible anywhere. And what you can do is if you really do become friends with them, you can say to them, "Can I hitchhike your plane?" I did this in Turkey. I hitchhiked at least 8 planes. I did this because I was friends with the pilots. They put me in the front, I sat up there with them, I got VIP meals, and I was able to travel. I was only able to do this from Turkey, but I traveled in the country Turkey and I traveled to Europe on a Turkish Airlines by hitchhiking. Hey, you know if you click right down there on that button that says subscribe, that you can get all my stories whenever they come to you. Not only that, but down there in the doobly-doo, I always have links for whatever you need.